All right, let's derive y equals mx plus b from 2 points. Oh yeah, with me, Mr. Hain. Our essential question is, how can I turn points on a graph into the equation of a line? Specifically for this one, slope intercept form. All right, buckle up, ladies and gentlemen. While you guys are writing out the essential question, I have a truth to tell you. It's going to be a bumpy ride. This is going to be tray tables in their upright position, and make sure that your seatbelts are fastened. There might be some turbulence intellectually up ahead. Stay with me, people. We're going to persevere in problem solving in our mathematical practices today. Oh, yeah. I hope you got that essential question. If not, pause the video. I'll be here when you get back. Let's dive right in. Okay, so we're going to be spending some time on this slide here. So the point slope equation of a line is y minus y1 equals m times the quantity x minus x1, close parentheses. It's written in point slope form where x1 and y1 are a point on a non-vertical line, and then m is the slope. In symbols, in the section that I gleaned from our textbook, you have y minus y1 in blue equals m in green times the quantity x minus x1 in red. A thing to point out, that equation always has subtraction signs in it. That will come into play very soon. Let's take a look at example A. Okay, slope intercept form right there for our viewing pleasure. So let's substitute stuff in. All right, so our m is 3 in example A. It passes the point 2, 2, and both of those points are our x1 and our y1. Y1 is 2 and x1 is also 2. So we are going to substitute those into the point slope equation. All right. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Cool. So y minus 2, because 2 is our y1, equals 3 times the quantity x minus 2, close parentheses. And that's because that is how we substitute in our values for m, x, and y. All right. So from here, I'm going to distribute the 3. 3 times x is 3x, and 3 times 2 is negative 6, or negative 2 is negative 6. And boom, we've got this. Y minus 2 equals 3x minus 6. And of course, now I just move the 2 to the other side of the equation, and I have y equals 3x minus 4. This gives me the equation of the line in slope intercept form. Awesome. So I know that you're looking at B, C, and D, and you notice that 2 of them have fractions. So, cadabra, let's get rid of that one and do an example. So, now I have another example. This is not in your notes, but it's something that you should probably write on the back or on a piece of notebook paper on the even-numbered page if you're in my class next to this one. So, negative 6 comma negative 9 is our point, and our slope is 2/3, 2 over 3. So I'm going to use the point slope formula, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, close parentheses. What does that mean? Okay, x1 is negative 6, y1 is negative 9. Our slope, or m, is 2/3. Let's substitute that in. So y minus negative 9 equals 2/3, open parentheses, x minus negative 6. Close parentheses. Y minus negative 9 equals 2/3, open parentheses, x minus negative 6, close parentheses. Now, you'll notice that in this example, I have two negatives, or subtract a negative number in 2 cases. 2 negatives definitely make it positive, so my first step is going to rewrite the equation without the double negatives. So now that equation becomes y plus 9 equals 2/3, open parentheses, x plus 6, close parentheses. Okay. So, what does this mean? This means that I can now multiply and distribute 2/3 times x and 2/3 times 6. One of those is easy, but the other one is taking a fraction and multiplying it with a whole number. And that's what I have here, 2/3 times 6. I'm going to multiply straight across. 2 times 6 is 12, 3 times 1 is 3. And of course, that is equal to 4. So when I rewrite my equation after distributing the 2/3, that full equation now reads y plus 9 equals 2/3 x plus 4. So that 4 comes from when I take 2/3, as I am here, multiplying it times the 6. Here's my work. It simplifies to 4. And that's where this 4 comes from. And you've guessed it, I want to change this into slope intercept form. So I'm going to move the 9 by doing the opposite operations. That subtracts 9 from each side. And I have y is equal to 2/3 x minus 5. This is huge, people. So what I want you guys to do is pause the video and make sure that you have both example A written out in your notes and the -6 comma -9 slope of 2/3 example written in your notebook on the even page. So this is extremely important and allows you to solve B, C, and D, which give you the point and the slope for the point slope form to use in our point slope equation to find our line in slope intercept form. Whew. Okay, example B passes through the point -4 comma -2 and has a slope of 3/4. That's point -4 comma -2 and a slope of 3/4. Example C passes through 2 comma -1 and a slope of -1/2. So 2 comma -1, a slope of -1/2. And example D passes through -1 comma 10 and a slope of -6. Example D passes through -1 comma 10 with a slope of -6. Go ahead and pause the video. I'll be here when you've worked those out. This might take almost 20 to 30 minutes depending. Make sure that you've worked with people at your table, in your group, with the teacher, with an aide, with someone at your table as an elbow partner, one of those things. Check your answers with each other. Take your time, people. This is going to be persevering through problem solving. Pause the video. I'll be here when you get back. So now we go real big. All right, so we're going to derive y equals mx plus b, or slope intercept form, from 2 points. So example E. Example E passes through point 4 comma 7 and point 0 comma 3. So I'm going to actually find the slope through 2 points. This is a little bit of a review, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time lingering on this. I want you to go back and see the video for slope if you haven't already. I'm going to connect the 7 and the 3 on the top because those are my y values. I'm going to put that into my frame for the slope equation. So you see the 7 and the 3 there in the numerator, 7 minus 3. I'm going to connect the 4 and the 0 on the bottom. And those are my x values. So in my frame for the slope intercept form, you'll see those up here. Kaboom. It's 4 minus 0 in the denominator. So 7 minus 3 in the numerator, 4 minus 0 in the denominator, and that is 4 over 4. Excuse me, and 4 over 4, 4 divided by 4 is 1. So, to review, I've connected the y's on top, I connected the x's on the bottom, and I used the slope formula to find the slope, which was 1. Boom! Okay, huge. Pause the video if you need to. Copy this into your notebooks. Make sure you understand the steps that I'm using. This can be tricky. All right, unpause the video when you're ready to move on, and we'll continue with problem E. We're not done yet. We're back. Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm going to choose a point. I'm going to try to choose a point that has all positive numbers, and both of them do. And if one of them has a 0, I'm going to choose that one. So I'm going to choose the second point, which is 0, 3. All right. So I have that second point. What does that mean? That means m is equal to 1, and I have a point 0, 3. That's just like what we did on A, B, C, and D. So I'm going to label. x1 is 0, y1 is 3. I'm going to substitute that and use the point slope formula, y minus y1 equals m parentheses x minus x1 close parentheses, to derive the slope intercept form from that slope and a point. Whew. All right, substituting into my equation, I have y minus 3, because that's my y1 from my point, equals 1, because that is my slope, open parentheses, x minus 0, close parentheses. So I have y minus 3 equals x. Okay, now it's getting simpler because now all I got to do is move that 3 to the other side, and y equals x plus 3. Kaboom. That is how I get my answer, which is y equals mx plus b. That is a lot to take in and a lot to write down. Make sure that's in your notebook if you are in my class. If you're not, these are the steps that I will use to solve F, G, and H, but I'm not solving them on the screen. You're going to solve them at home. Example F passes through 3, -6 and -1, 2. 3, -6 and -1, 2. Example G passes through 8, 7, 8, 7, and 0, 0. Those 2 points again for G are 8, 7, and 0, 0. For example H, it passes through -2, 5, and 3, 9. That's -2, 5, and 3, 9. Go ahead and pause the video. Guys, do F, G, and H on your own. If you're in a classroom, this might take 20 to 30 minutes. Check with your elbow partner. Check with the other people in your group. Check with another group. Check with a teacher. Check with an aide. Do what you need to, but check yourself. All right, guys, take your time. This can be long. I'll be here when you get back. So, for quick reference and review, I have put up 2 problems, and I've gone through all of the examples for everything. This is so much. I'm just going to leave it here. Pause the video. Make sure you have these. This is exactly how I solve the problems. You might recognize some of them from earlier parts in this video, which is fine. I'm going to stop talking for your quick reference and review. Pause the video. Make sure you've got this in your notes. This is a lot of information, people. So look at it, read it, go over it, know it, be it, do it, and always do that math. We're back. I hope you got that quick reference and review. Kaboom, kaboom. Write your summary if you're in my class. Make sure your table of contents is updated. And until next time, people, keep doing the math.